uh, unlock read speeds isn't on, it should be pretty similar.
Yeah.
Which I
It should be
assume is
fine.
what you were just saying, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be sweet. Yeah. Put it this way, if it comes down to load speeds, I'll be really happy. You know?
I mean, you just, like, well, I guess, no, he has a 141 now? I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't matter until you have below 140.
Exactly.
Love you
We're all
guys.
just sub 145.
You don't matter until you're good at the video game.
Sorry, I'm trying.
Alright, so I don't think I actually have the seed anymore.
That's fine.
You can, I think you can
Are you-
technically reverse engineer it from the GCT file, but I'm
So,
not sure how
are
to
you
do
going to, are you gonna widen HeartPieces so it's the same size as SBU's video?
that. Stretched.
Pikmin NPC widescreen moment.
Oh, I get, is SBU running on a different?
I
because it's
think
Wii U,
his is widescreen, yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I can
care
just
for
put
it.
this as the only thing in the middle if you like. Like I can just duplicate this scene and just.
No, keep yours how it is. SBU has like black bars on the side that I can crop out.
Okay, dope.
Easy peasy.
Sorry to be a stickler.
No, this is good. This is good.
Yep, you're good. Let me move to the side so the names aren't blocking any actual gameplay anymore because someone was complaining about the name blocking the treasure gauge last time I streamed.
Oh, rip.
Dear.
Who was
Complain
complaining about
anything,
it?
you have to
Really?
care.
May have been
I'll
SBU
fucking
actually.
find someone for you, Pi. Yeah, probably.
Rip.
It's okay.
The SBO
Like,
cap.
right, no, and there was also like a non-zero chance that it was me.
Like,
so I was like, oh shit.
Actually.
Okay. Oh, I guess I can. Oh, I had the sound on for one. Okay.
By the way, Pi, I assume YS 101 or whatever the numbers are has not said anything to you. Has not gotten back.
It's
with
not.
you.
No.
Yeah. I win.
I think we might have to call it a bye for you, Urban. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Damn. Who was 3 seed? Kemi? Yeah, Kemi would be 3 seed, right? I was gonna say we could redo the bracket a little bit, but like Kemi's already had her match and she's 3 seed, so like. I mean, the redo the bracket would be switch me with whoever the appropriate seed who should have had a bye was, but again, Kemi's already had her match, and so has Max. No, Max hasn't.
Max is not.
So you just get a bye until you verse Max or Electric Fortune. And then who would YS have been versing if they?
YS is playing.
Oh, the loser of Max and Electric Fortune. So whoever loses out of that match will just go straight to playing the loser of Cap and Curtis or Mr. J.
Well, that's cool. Pretty brutal.
Everyone still gets at least 2 matches. Sure. That's the main thing. You just get to play twice at least.
I was underseeded. It's fine. I deserve the bye.
I'm just seated.
I
think that's
mean,
called
yeah,
PBing, Evan.
I'm trying.
I know, so am I.
Sleep is really nice, though.
Actually true.
Big
So
true.
true.
if I spent the amount of time in this game that I did at either point that I had world record, at both of which times I was barely in school or not in school or had just graduated and was not working. So like I was spending a fuck ton of time playing the game. Like I didn't have like a job. So unfortunately I just can't spend that amount of time on the game now, and so it takes a lot longer to PB.
You're like a productive member of society or something now?
Oh god, yeah.
Ugh.
I met the governor today.
Ooh.
That was
Oh,
fun.
wow. Okay. That's cool. I mean, I have no idea who the governor of Indiana is.
Yeah.
But
I also met the mayor of the state capital, which is also where I live.
oh,
Which is a
That's
little
fun.
less exciting, but yeah. We had a circular economy symposium hosted in like the building that I work in.
Ooh.
And the leader of my department was pretty much the head organizer of it, so she wanted all of us to go.
Makes sense.
It was interesting. It's nice to hear about like sustainability and environmental concerns in like deep red Indiana. Not gonna lie.
Alright, looks like the right seed from SBU.
Sweet.
Did only 3 people vote on matches? No, 2 people voted for HeartPiece to win.
Yeah,
HeartPiece
I got another vote. I don't know who from, but I got another vote. And it wasn't me. So that's nice. Yeah, 6 people have voted on matches. That was pretty good.
Kemi and TCB is an interesting one.
Ooh. Yeah, I can vote on the next matches. Shoot.
Ooh, and Julian and Teddy.
I'm gonna vote like that.
I mean, I guess I feel like this is a clear choice, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm keen for an upset, but I will still probably pick the like. This seems like the the default
So
the favorite to win.
this is when you're gonna find out that I like really like college basketball, and so like a bracket that is where you just go like with the highest seed is called straight paint, and so that's what that is.
And it will never win. There
Oh
will
yeah.
always be an upset.
Yeah, like not almost always, yeah.
Alright, so are we both ready to start?
I guess so.
Get your load manips ready and
Go on.
and we'll be ready to start here in just a minute, it looks like.
Oh, is it not letting me submit my votes? What?
Yeah, mine was doing that as well. I refreshed and it worked.
Okay.
Like refreshed, resubmitted them, and they were fine.
Oop, nope. Picked the wrong person. Yeah.
No, Irvin, you're throwing your bracket.
Alright, I'll try to start the timer when I see the stream start playing this time.
That's actually very funny.
Oh, what happened last was me and TCB. You counted in BC. We hit A. Then stream 4 seconds later, we hit A.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure you all hit A as soon as I said go, but
Oh, absolutely.
it's nice that the stream delay was exactly the same for both of you, though. Like,
Oh, that's pretty funny.
you guys started
worked
on
out
like the
nicely.
same frame, it looked like.
That just makes
Now-
the timer look extra wrong, unfortunately.
Ah,
I say you guys
Makes-
when neither of you were in that race.
makes TCB and I look extra smart, though.
Okay,
All right.
I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick, so I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
Okay, we got a ready from SBU. I'll be good to you, HeartPiece.
Yep, I am good to go.
Alrighty. Just wait a second for Urban to get back, then I'll do the countdown.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Alright, and we are starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, good luck, SBU.
All right. Welcome to the third match of the Pikmin 2 2022 Pay Off Debt Tournament. Today's match is the closest match seed-wise that we've had so far. HeartPiece versus sbudiver. I am Urban. I speedrun Pikmin 2.
And I am Teddy
And I'm-
Yoshi. You can call me Teddy. I also speedrun Pikmin 2, but less skilled than Urban.
Teddy's pretty good. Don't let him lie to you.
Thank you.
No problem. Anyway, so there is a little bit of difference in stream delay here, it looks like. So SBU is going to be a second or two behind from the start. This game is highly variable, so I'm sure we'll see the lead probably change back and forth here quite a bit at the start. So SBU and HeartPiece are about to perform a trick called Day 1 Extinction. So this trick allows us to get an extinction of Pikmin on this day, which is ordinarily not possible. And when you get an extinction, the day automatically ends, and that allows us to skip the tutorial day entirely.
SPU getting a little ahead. He only got to whistle one Pikmin, so the trick was a bit easier. HeartPiece unfortunately had to whistle all 5 Pikmin, which means the trick took a bit longer than usual. So SPU is currently ahead of HeartPiece.
Yep. So because we skipped the tutorial day, we don't have very many Pikmin, so basically the next couple days of play here are going to be growing Pikmin and watching or seeing most of the cutscenes that we would have seen on the tutorial day anyway. Skipping the tutorial day overall saves about a minute in the speedrun, and most of that is due to a sort of Pikmin upgrade that we get on day 4 called Nectar. Nectar turns your leaf Pikmin into flower Pikmin, which move faster, carry faster, and that is very helpful for the following couple splits.
Flower Pikmin also have a smaller chance of tripping, which is another random factor that can give you time loss, because this is Pikmin 2.
Wait, really? I didn't actually know that.
Let's go, new knowledge.
Yeah, Teddy's spitting straight facts. So you're going to see SBU here lure this Bulborb much closer to the onion, and then he's going to try to get a one-shot kill on it, which he does. Luring it much closer to the onion here obviously just saves a bunch of time because the Pikmin don't have to carry it nearly as far. And the enemy's walking speed is significantly faster than the Pikmin's carrying speed. Looks like SBU here is going to go for... Oh, no, he's not actually going to go for it. He was setting it up, but he didn't go for it. But there's a trick here called Louis Skip. The first time that Louis is under the red onion, a cutscene plays. You can actually skip this cutscene entirely by getting a frame-perfect trick, basically pausing when the same frame that cutscene activates. But again, it's frame-perfect, and it loses like 15 seconds in early game if you mess up the time to play it, so it's definitely not worth going for in this kind of scenario. It does have a visual cue, so it's not as bad if you're, you know, grinding for a good PB time or something, but not as desirable in this situation, like I said.
SPU is about to close up his farming segment, which is what we call days 1 through 3, because you're just farming a Pikmin, because in day 4 you finally get a Pikmin to crush the paper bag and advance further in the valley you propose. HeartPiece is... he's almost there. He's doing day 3 right now, getting the 2 pellets to end day 3 once these seeds hit the ground. The frame the seeds hit the ground are when they get counted by the game, so on the next day they'll still be there for you.
Yep. So it looks like in the chat we're finding out that both runners agreed to not go for Louis Skip, which, again, makes a lot of sense in a situation like this. Alright, so day 4 here, we're just going to see our runners grow a bunch more Pikmin. They are going to get up to 46 and then 53 Pikmin without doing Louis Skip. And then that is going to be enough to enter the cave here, and then after they enter that cave, the day will automatically end, and they will move on to the next area. But like I said, first they have to get up to that number of Pikmin. You need 15 Pikmin to crush the first bag, that like Teddy was talking about, and then you need 35 Pikmin to crush the second bag there. Again, they'll grow like 40... I was going to say, they'll grow 46, so that's quite a bit more than that, but the extra Pikmin are really helpful, obviously.
Something interesting about this first bag cutscene, that's one of the only cutscenes in the game to place the cabinet in a certain position. So even if you walk forwards, you'll be pushed back by the cutscene. This is one of the only cutscenes in the game like this, and it's kind of weird.
You'll see SBU here going for a trick that we call egg push. Basically, you punch out the egg so that it has just a little bit of health left, and then you push it down the slope using your captain. This makes the nectar that he's going to get much, much closer to where his Pikmin and captains are after plucking all of them here. And that saves somewhere around like 4 or 5 seconds, as opposed to having to walk all the way up.
He gets 1 ledge nectar, that'll be unobtainable, but fortunately he gets every single one of his Pikmin flowered. Nope, he misses. He has 1 leaf, unfortunately, but that's still fine. He has 45 flowers, which is more than enough for this early part of the game.
Yeah, and so you can already see how much faster these Pikmin are moving behind Olimar. It makes the game much, much easier when you get to use all of these Pikmin. Alright, so we were talking about that Louis cutscene earlier. Here, you're going to see SBU activate that cutscene. He's going to put Pikmin on those last 2 bodies, last 2 items to carry in to grow a couple more Pikmin, and they will get carried as this cutscene plays, which saves a little bit of time. Ideally, you wouldn't see this cutscene at all, but in this situation, again, totally fine. Looks like HeartPiece did about as well as SBU with the nectar. He has just 1 leaf. HeartPiece also is only loading 1 and 5 on the Pikmin, or on the red pellet and the bulb orb instead of 2 and 6. That's actually not optimal. You should max load those. But it'll be okay. Won't lose too much time. So after that Louis cutscene plays, SBU is going to run back to the gate, and he will be able to enter Emergence Cave, which is going to be our first cave of the run. So for people who aren't familiar with this category or this game, the goal of this category is to collect 10,000 Pokos. It's essentially the any % category of the game. We do this by collecting treasures in caves and above ground, mostly in caves. We can also collect what we'll refer to as bug bodies in caves, which are enemy corpses. They are not worth nearly as much as treasures, though, so we will not be relying on them too heavily. We do have a set number that we attempt to obtain in the run, though. I'll also say that both of our runners are playing with a set seed code. This code sets the seed of every floor that they encounter, which means they will both get the exact same layouts on every single floor. There are a few things that'll vary because RNG essentially advances every frame in this game on the floors, so independent RNG calls on floors will potentially be different, but the layouts they're going to see are going to be the exact same. SBU here is... Go ahead.
One other thing to note that hasn't taken place yet, HeartPiece will be running on the PAL version of the game, while SBU is on the US version. In Merchant's Cave and Valley of Repose, this doesn't have an effect, but you'll start to see that in Awakening Wood and those two caves, in White Flower Garden and Snaggart Hole specifically. There'll be minor version differences where the treasures weigh different amounts of Pikmin and they have different Poco amounts. So the routing for these players will be a bit different with their Poco routing.
Yep. Overall, it's not going to create too much of an effect in the end, but you'll, like Teddy said, you'll see some dips and valleys. Those are synonyms. Hills and valleys throughout the run as those differences come about. All right, SBU here is getting purple Pikmin, which are the type of Pikmin that very much breaks the game. They are very overpowered, and so it makes killing just about any enemy very, very easy, including boss enemies. They also have a carry, they're able to carry 10 instead of 1, like a red Pikmin, and so using them you're able to carry in this globe, which is how we unlock the next area. Alright, so you're going to see SBU load enough Pikmin onto that treasure to get it moving in, and then he's going to kill these Bulborbs after getting it moving. Saves a little bit of time than trying to kill them before you get the globe moving. HeartPiece not too far behind here. Telling me I'm wrong with the 1-5. I'm not sure about that. I'll test it. The whole point of doing it the way that we never mind. That's too much depth to go into in this call.
It's too nerdy for a live stream.
Yeah. Alright, SBU is moving on to the second area of the game. It is called Awakening Wood. Don't worry though, we will revisit Valley of Repose once we have blue Pikmin. There are 2 other caves in Valley of Repose that have a ton of Pokos in them. Plus there are quite a few easy Pokos that you can grab above ground. And so it's very much worth it to go back.
In this Awakening Wood above ground segment, we basically grow more red Pikmin because there is a very strong black gate that blocks it from progressing further, and lots of HP. So while some Pikmin go break it, we use Louis and Alvar to grow other more red Pikmin, so the gate goes down faster, and because it saves time in Hole of Beasts, especially Hole of Beast sub level 3, because there's fire geysers that we want to use red for.
We're also kind of just trying to get to a kind of critical mass of Pikmin. That's how you'll hear quite a few runners refer to it. Basically, it's just the number of Pikmin you need in your party to not lose time. on kind of like average layouts. That critical mass can also apply to specific types, mainly whites and purples, because they are the rarest types of Pikmin that we need in the run, and they are both very, very useful. Like I said, purples are going to be extremely useful. They also do a bunch more damage than reds, in addition to the other benefits I was talking about before. And they have the ability to stun enemies by getting a pound on them, which also does more damage than a standard attack, I believe.
Enemies also have a very high chance of being stunned, which makes purple Pikmin even more broken than they already were.
Right.
Each enemy has, I believe, a 30%, which is 3 to 10 chance of getting stunned every purple throw. So throwing like upwards of 5 purples nearly guarantees you a stun on an enemy.
Yeah, so the stun rate varies by enemy. 30% is kind of like an average, though. For most enemies, I think that is what applies, most normal enemies. Bosses in particular, I know, have lower stun chances.
Yeah, most bosses can't even be stunned, with the exception of, I believe Emperor Bullblacks can be stunned, and Pileatus Negrit, which has the infamous 1% stun chance, so if you get it, you won the lottery. So that saves a bit of time, and 3 red Pikmin.
Yeah, these are all bosses that we will see later on, actually in this area. Now that so SBU nectared some Pikmin there using a Honey Wisp, and now you're going to see him enter the first cave of this area, Hole of Beasts. This cave is pretty straightforward, and the layouts don't vary nearly as much as in later caves. So, runners, it's not a high variability cave. Other caves are much higher in variability. This is not one of them.
Funnily enough, this exact sublevel has the perfect RNG, as we call it, where the D-pad spawns very closest to the ship.
So I'm going to get a little nitty-gritty here. The way, this is just kind of like an idiosyncratic thing about this particular layout. So when the treasure is off to the left here, like you'll see on both of the runner streams, it actually takes a slightly longer path that loses about a second or two, as opposed to when it is on the right.
Wow, Pikmin 2 devs, am I right? Couldn't place away from
Yeah,
the
no,
left
it's
side.
you'd think it would be evenly placed and even amounts of time, but it is not, unfortunately. For the most part, treasures that are placed in caves are randomly placed. There are some rules that they follow. Basically, they are placed in what the game deems to be the most difficult position for them to be placed in. Sometimes that can be, like I said, a little idiosyncratic and can be a little off. But for the most part, they are randomly placed in the worst possible spots. There are some floors, however, where the treasures have low variability, and other floors where they have much higher variability. And so most of the ones in this cave are low variability, but you will see some changes, some differences.
Here in sublevel 3, in the Awakening when above ground, we grew up to 53 red. This allows this sublevel to be very fast, since we only need to dismiss, take a red, then fully load both treasures, as they only weigh a combined weight of 45, with max Pikmin carrying them. So this sublevel is pretty easy with all red Pikmin. In this route specifically, we have enough red, but in other routes, such as all treasures, you have less red, so it becomes more of a pain.
Yeah, we have to adjust how we play a little bit in all treasures to account for the fact that we have fewer reds. All treasures is essentially the, as its name says, it's collecting all treasures in the game. It is essentially the 100% category of this game. You'll also see that the two runners, because, like I said, these caves are very similar from run to run, you'll see them playing these floors very similar, I believe, in most cases. All right, on this sublevel, SBU and HeartPiece both will actually be trying to see where this card treasure is placed on the come down. So when you enter a sublevel, the game actually kind of gives you like an overview preview of the sublevel as the captain descends onto it. And so in a lot of cases, you are able to tell a lot of information about a sublevel from the come down cutscene. In this one, they're trying to figure out the location of that card, and that's something that you can do pretty easily, almost always, because it's in a specially shaped alcove. SBU here is potentially running a little bit of risk with purples and fire. Looks like they pathed correctly, though.
SPU also killed those Mitates for an extra 10 Pokos, because each group of Mitates, there are 10 Mitates, they each are worth 1 Poco, and they also all drop Nectar, so you can Nectar his leaf purples he got on level 2. This speeds up the entrance to White Flower Garden and White Flower Garden.
Like I was saying before, we don't try to get... We don't rely on bug bodies too terribly much of the run, but there is a set number that we get, and so these Mitites have a fairly consistent location on this sublevel, so we almost always are going to try to get them. SBU here is going to be fighting our first boss, Empress Bulblax. She's actually the only boss that you see 3 times in story mode. Some bosses you see twice, but she's the only one you see 3 times. I guess you see Emperor Bulblax twice if you count the 2 on the one floor as 2 separate sites.
Well, technically, by that measure, you'd see 5 Emperor Bulblaxes, so each of those has 2 Emperors. Empress is like...
Oh, yeah.
The most
Anyway, yeah.
It's the most frequent, like,
well, like
main...
major boss, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Emperor Bulblax was kind of a mini-boss in this game, and the devs knew it, because they put multiple on the floor.
Right. SB actually performed a pretty cool trick there that we call Fast Empress. Basically, Empress will only perform her shake animation and shake Pikmin off after a certain number of hits have happened. And so if you time swarming your Pikmin onto her body well, you can get her not to shake before all your Pikmin latch on. And that allows you to get a very, very quick kill on her. We saw HeartPiece go for it, but he missed it by just a little bit, so he's going to have to go for a backup strat here. Oh, no. Yeah, a little bit rough for HeartPiece here, but it's okay. There's plenty of run left, and like I said, a ton of variability left. So he lost a few Pikmin. He's going to 3-cycle this boss, unfortunately, but he should be okay in the end. Something that is pretty difficult about that trick is if you miss it, it can be very difficult to make up for that. Alright, so you're going to see why we entered Hole of Beasts first here. That is so that we can enter White Flower Garden next. To enter White Flower Garden, we want to have 20 purples in our party, and we were able to grow an extra 10 purples on Hole of Beasts 2. We need the 20 purples because that bag takes a weight of 200 to be crushed, and so 20 purples is perfect for that. HeartPiece isn't going to have 20 purples, but he'll have reds to make up for it, so he'll be able to get into White Flower Garden. SBU yeeting a red off the edge there on accident. Luckily, a couple red deaths doesn't matter too terribly much. White Flower Garden, much like Hole of Beasts, is another cave that doesn't have too terribly much variability. And so our runners are going to be able to recognize layouts very quickly, and we'll probably be playing the floors pretty similarly again.
White Flower Garden 4 has some variability, which Urban knows all too well, unfortunately.
Oh. The deep cut.
Very sad.
Yeah, so when we get there, I'm not sure what the layout is going to be, but the 4th floor in the cave that SBU is currently in is really the first floor where you can lose a very substantial amount of time to having a bad layout. I'm talking like 30 or 40 seconds versus the best possible layout. So it can be a little frustrating in a run, especially if you're on a good run that is 30 or 40 seconds ahead. You can lose that all in a single floor on occasion.
SPU opting to get a Fiery Blowhog body, which I believe is worth 4 Pokos. So a little bit of money, but it could help later on by a tiny amount.
Yeah, so he actually managed it very, very well, where he didn't waste any time in getting the treasure moving. So as long as you don't waste any time getting the treasure moving, as long as you get the further treasure moving as quickly as possible, any bug bodies that you're able to collect before that treasure comes in are essentially free Pokos for you.
Here we'll see HeartPiece experiencing the first PAL versus US difference, getting this peanut butter container instead of the other lid. This container is worth 130 Pokos instead of the 80 on US. This one's worth more Pokos, but on certain sub-level later in the game, like Subchain and Complex 7, there'll be less Pokos. So this is where the first Poko difference begins.
Yeah, so it evens out almost over the end. It's a little bit different, but we shall see. SBU here is growing some white Pikmin. I mentioned them earlier, but they are a extremely useful color Pikmin for us. They have the ability to... they are immune to poison. They can also poison enemies if they are eaten. They also are able to dig buried treasures, of which there is one on this floor. If you don't have white Pikmin, you actually cannot get completely buried treasures at all, so they are required in some caves. So on this floor, you'll see SBU and HeartPiece both grow the maximum number of whites here, 15. Then they will nectar them and load them onto this tape so that it gets carried in much quicker. The other huge benefit to whites is that they run faster and they carry treasures faster. They actually carry treasures at twice the speed of... so a white flower will carry a treasure at twice the speed of a red or blue flower. Red, blue, or yellow flower, although we will not see yellow Pikmin in this game. And it is more than twice the speed of a purple flower. Alright, so on SBU's screen, we'll see the first iteration of White Flower Garden 4. HeartPiece will get the same layout, keep in mind. On this floor, it's going to be the first floor as well where we skip a treasure. We'll see on the left there is SBU walked back toward this chapstick treasure. There's a little mushroom there. That mushroom is only worth 30 Pokos, and so it is definitely optimal to skip it in this cave. There are two reasons for this. First of all, a treasure cutscene takes about 10 seconds to play. And secondly, if you collect all treasures in a cave, you get a cave complete cutscene at the end of the cave that costs about 8 seconds. Because that treasure is only worth 30 Pokos and it automatically is going to cost 18 seconds to get, it's just absolutely never worth it in this category. For the most part, we're trying to go for a Pokos per second value of 2. Seeing SBU struggle a little bit with the boss fight here. We have quick kills on just about every single boss in this game. Snagrit is no exception. Much like Empress Bulblax, whether or not he goes back under is based on the number of hits that has happened to him. So you have to manage that, which is not terribly hard to do, while also killing him in one cycle. On this boss level, we're getting what is called an exploration kit treasure. It is the third one that we've gotten, but the second one that gives us an upgrade. The upgrade that the first one gave us was the treasure that we got on Hole of Beast 5, where Empress Bulblax was. That gives us the gauge in the bottom right corner of the screen that you can see now. and that tells us where treasures are, which is especially useful for buried treasures or other hidden treasures. The second one that SBU just got is called the knapsack, and it is a very game-breaking exploration kit upgrade. And you're about to see him start utilizing this right away.
To a casual player, the knapsack is not really looked at as an upgrade because casual players usually don't use it, but for speedrunners, you can really break the game like Urban said, including going up walls like that.
Yeah, so you're going to see this all over the place for the rest of the run, but the devs did not consider that Pikmin can carry a captain in the knapsack state up walls, up ledges, if they are at the right angle. And so we're going to get into lots of areas early and get into lots of caves early. Here we are doing a trick that is called early blues, and what this does is gives us blue Pikmin early. Ordinarily, you would have to get yellows first to get blues, but yellows are in another area, and that's just not very fast. So we're going to get blues here, and that's going to allow us to only have to visit this area that we're in now, Awakening Wood, just once. The trick went by really fast there, and good news is we'll get to see it again, but basically you get out of bounds, and then you use the knapsack as you leap across a void. And when you void out, if you are in the knapsack state, the game treats you as a treasure, which causes you to respawn near the blue onion as opposed to back near the ship, which was what would happen if you were if you were to run off without knapsacking. It's pretty complex how it all works. There is a pretty good chance that the trick will fail at times if you press the knapsack button at the wrong time. We call that a soft lock, and it basically prevents you from continuing the run. Both of our runners are playing with the soft lock patch, so they will not get a soft lock.
Virtually,
All right.
HeartPiece go through the same sequence.
Mm-hmm. Getting to blue Pikmin right now is also pretty helpful for us because it allows us to enter the next cave we want to enter, Snaggart Hole. The knapsack waypoint abuse glitch that we want to use for abuse exploit, I guess, that we want to use to enter Snaggart Hole actually requires a white Pikmin to carry you toward the blue onion, which is located in its original position. If it relocates back to its position near the ship, then this trick is not possible, although you can do it with yellow Pikmin, which is what we do in all treasures when we enter the area a second time. Oh!
Oh, unfortunate. HeartPiece unfortunately did not knapsack early enough, so his captain just fell into the void without being knapsacked, which means he's respawned at the origin, which would be the ship in this case, so he'll have to reset to try that trick again, very unfortunately.
I'm a little surprised. Should be, so you said he pressed it too late? Yeah, that makes sense. Because our players are playing with the soft lock patch, it should be pretty hard for them to fail this trick. No shade, HeartPiece. Love you, man. But basically, you can go pretty early, and as long as you have sufficient momentum and are in a decent spot, you're not gonna. There are lots of weird things that can happen here to cause this trick to fail. One of which is warping back to the. Instead of warping to the blue onion area, you warp to the area, a spot right by White Flower Garden. Which allows you. So I imagine that is what he was trying to avoid, but it's not too hard to avoid, in my opinion. I don't know. Anyway, SBU cleared Snaggart Hole 1 and is now clearing Snaggart Hole 2. Snaggart Hole 2 is another extremely high variability floor. You can maybe tell by the exasperation of my voice that when I say extremely, that's an understatement.
We love you, Urban. Good luck.
Yeah. So this floor can probably go from, a minute all the way up to like 2.5 minutes. And so if you're a PB, gets this single treasure on this floor, the strawberry, in just a minute, you can lose a whole minute and a half on this floor in certain cases. HeartPiece making a little bit of a mistake there, accidentally activating these spectralids, these little butterflies, which is going to cost him some time here.
Even the purple Pikmin wants to like treat it like it's an outside captain because it was trying to climb the ledge holding the butterfly.
Yeah.
Never seen that before.
You might be wondering why, if Snaggered Hole 2 is, you know, a minute and a half of variability, why don't we just skip the floor? Unfortunately, as you'll see there, that treasure is worth either 170 or 190. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's worth
190.
190, yeah. So it's worth a ton of Pokos. So even in the worst case scenario, it is worth getting.
Fortunately, the other treasure is only worth 40, so they don't get that one.
Right, the sushi on there. And so that kind of checks the box of treasure we don't pick up in this cave. Hole of Beast was actually the last cave that we will collect all treasures in and see that cave complete cutscene. Every other cave we're going to skip at least one treasure. Most of the time we skip treasures because they're almost always far away. In this cave, they can be waterlocked as well, which is a bit of an issue, or they're just not worth very much. In the next cave, we'll see the runner skipping treasures that aren't worth very much.
This is the only cave in Payoff Debt where we go into it and there is water, but we do not have blue Pikmin. In Sub-Level 2, you can only lose time, but it can't end your run since the treasures will always be on land, well, the strawberry will always be on land, and Pikmin can carry across a bridge, so they won't get in the water. But in Sub-Level 6, there's water that can completely block a Pikmin's path through waypoints, so we just don't get treasures on Sub-Level 6 because it's incredibly inconsistent and slow.
In Snaggered Hole here, you're also going to start to see what can be a bit of an issue at times. So there are treasures you can see. There are treasures you can see using the gauge, such as buried treasures. There are also occasionally treasures in enemies, and those enemies are either placed randomly in the sublevel, completely randomly in the sublevel, which means they don't follow those rules I was talking about before, or they're placed randomly in a spot where they'll fall from the ceiling, or they'll fall from the sky, like that beetle just did. And we need those treasures, and so those can be some of the most difficult treasures to deal with in this game, is because they don't follow any of the rules that we use to follow to get other treasures.
You'll see one of those falling treasures on the very next sublevel. This next sublevel is incredibly annoying because there's a small orange bubble orb that drops a treasure and it falls from the ceiling to the sky, and it can be anywhere in the sublevel. And it's really hard to. One of the 4 falling bubble orbs has it. Ooh, this is a good seed. SPU diver gets the very.
Go ahead.
SPU gets the very first falling bubble orb that has the marble, so this is good. This is a good layout. Although it can be far away, but this time it was very close when he got it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good layout. There are, I believe, 5 bulborbs that
my bad.
The guy could be in. Yeah, but that's fine. We'll see HeartPiece trying to make up some ground here. Just like SBU, he's getting the strawberry. He's also getting some bug bodies here, it would seem. Actually, maybe not. He killed the mum, but it doesn't look like he tossed a purple on it to get it carried in. So that's another huge benefit of purples, that they have a carry weight of 10, so they can carry in big enemies that are worth a lot of Pokos at times. That mum corpse is one of them that is worth 7 Pokos, and so that is generally quite a lot. He did get it. Okay, I'm just crazy. Which is good. That's a nice bit of Pokos. 7 Pokos might not seem like much, but if it's a body that bug body that you weren't intending on getting, or that you don't always plan on getting, it's a pretty nice bonus to get there. All right, SBU is on Snaggered Hole 6 here, so this floor is often regarded as the floor that can kind of make or break Payoff Debt runs. There is this little orange bulborb that falls from the ceiling that contains a treasure. That treasure is worth 120 Pokos, which is a ton. So it is almost always useful to get. However, there is water on this floor, and we can't know where the treasure is because there is what's called an antenna beetle on the floor, which messes up our gauge. And so we kind of just have to check the spawn points on our way to the exit and hope that we find it. If we don't, we just skip the floor. SBU was able to find it and get it, and it's super useful in that case. There is also another treasure in one of the snaggerets. There are 2 snaggerets on that floor, however, and so it's a 50-50. Completely randomly placed, and you won't know if the antenna beetle is around. So it's not nearly as worth it because it's only worth 60 Pokos as well compared to that 120. When HeartPiece gets to that floor, those Pokos are worth those treasures are worth a little bit different Pokos. On PAL, I'm not sure what they are.
On PAL, the treasure that the Bulborb drops is worth 150 Pokos. Not sure what the Snagger drops. It might be the same.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is the same. I knew the Bulwark was different.
SPU's
All right, so we're gonna.
SPU's game did not crash, which is pretty good.
Yeah. We see HeartPiece playing this floor really well, noticing using the gauge at the start there to recognize where the enemy with the falling enemy with the treasure is right from the start. He's also doing a nice job here, loading these things back up on his way to the exit. HeartPiece is making a pretty smart choice here, running off to the left there instead of by the electric gate and by the enemy. Sometimes after a treasure cutscene plays, your Pikmin in that treasure cutscene will join your captain if he's close enough to the pod, and that can be a big pain if there's an electric gate or something. So electricity is the only hazard in the game that automatically kills Pikmin. All other treasures you can save Pikmin from, but electricity instantly zaps them, and so it can be a real ruiner of runs at times.
It can ruin runs because electricity stays on during treasure cutscenes, and Pikmin can run into it and die while you can't move.
Yeah.
Pikmin 2, everybody.
Alright, so HeartPiece is going to check this, and he's going to see that it is there, which is going to be nice for him. On this split that SBU is currently doing, you'll remember that we just got blues just before the Snaggart Hole Cave. And so on this split, he is going to be growing blues, collecting 4 above ground treasures, I believe. Yeah. And getting prepared to enter the next cave. So a ton of stuff happens on this split. And there's a ton of multitasking that goes on here. He flubbed a teeny bit there, but it looks like he's gotten there. And he's going to be able to finish this split cleanly. This globe treasure that you see on SBU's screen now is what unlocks the next area for us. However, he will not be going there next. Going back to Valley of Repose next, which was the first area we were in. Something that you'll also notice now is as we're on day 5 in Awakening Wood, so a bit of an interesting side effect of day 1 extinction and ending the day so many times right at the start is our day count is pretty high, even though this is speedrun where you'd expect that, you know, minimum days would be the best case scenario. That is definitely the case in both Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 3 for their any percent categories. Alright, SBU also getting it's not Stupendous Lens on here on his version, it is Mysterious Remains. But it is even more worth it than Stupendous Lens because it's worth 150 versus 120. But again, things will even out over time.
On this split in Awakening Wood above ground, our goal is to grow about 60 blues, which makes a Valley Repose above ground work smoothly, because we need blues to break down a gate, and the faster that gate goes down, generally, the faster we can get other treasures in. So we get a bunch of enemy corpses back to the blue onion, such as the shear grubs and the bulborb, as well as some other pellets to increase our blue count.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so you'll notice our red count has gotten pretty dismal because we used a bunch of the reds that we grew at the start to grow purples and to grow whites. And so we're going to grow a bunch of blues here, and then after this cave, we'll enter a new area, and blues will kind of become our main non-white purple Pikmin that we use for the rest of the run in most cases. There will be some times where you will use reds if you kill a lot of blues or something like that happens, but for the most part, blues will be our main Pikmin type for the rest of the run.
SPU here is going to enter Bullback's Kingdom. This is the final cave that we enter in Awakening Wood. It also has almost the most Pokos. There's more Pokos than Snagger Hole White Flower Garden. This cave is very worth it because it's very each sub-level is pretty short, and the treasures are worth quite a bit.
Yeah. One benefit it has over, say, like Snaggered Hole is that most of the sub-levels are pretty small. So, like, this sub-level is smaller than probably every other sub-level in Snaggered Hole, aside from maybe, like, Snaggered Hole 3. And small sub-levels, like we've talked about before, are good because it means Pikmin have to carry things smaller distances. At the sub-level, you'll see yet another luring strategy where SBU is going to lure the Bulborb a little bit closer to the pod so that the body and treasure get carried in much more quickly. That luring strategy is almost always worth it. When possible. Alright, HeartPiece grown blues, like Teddy was talking about before. Ooh. HeartPiece's purple count is looking a little low. I hope he has enough to move the globe. The globe requires a carry weight of 100. Yeah, it looks like he knows. That's good.
Getting those 3 blue pellets is nice, since that means you have more blues to spare.
Yeah, he did have to leave one of them behind because he's so low on purples. But that'll be okay. He should still have plenty of blues. Those blue pellet spawns are another bit of variability that actually does not depend on seed. He's got HeartPiece. Oh, is this not worth it on PAL? Oh no, it's only 4. That's cool. Sorry, I'm learning the PAL differences with you guys. That treasure.
I did not know about that.
Yeah, that treasure has a weight of 6 on US version, and so he didn't bring a purple with him, and I'm like, oh no! But it's not a big deal on PAL because it's only got a weight of 4, so he brought 4 whites, and that's plenty.
SPU choosing to grow 5 purples on Bullback Kingdom 4. This is not everyone you'll do this, but if the purple count you think is low enough, you can grow here, since usually purple flowers will spawn very close to your ship. It doesn't lose that much time if you do it correctly.
This is yet another sub-level where all of the treasures are in enemies, and so they are all essentially completely randomly placed. And that's an issue because we can't use any of the wonderful rules that we like to use on other floors here. It's alright though. It's, again, a fairly small sub-level, so that makes reading it pretty easy using the gauge. There weren't an electric gate in front of that nectar. It'd be great for SPU to go for it. Yeah, someone was asking what that All Blacks Kingdom level or sub-level 1 was. Yeah, it was pretty bad. The spawning algorithm works pretty oddly. Well, not oddly, but there are 2 different possible second rooms in that for that sub-level. And that is the worst spawn point in that particular type of room. So it's not great, but it's not terrible either. I mean, it's pretty bad, but...
There's a second different type of room that can spawn instead of that U-turn / like J-shaped room. That other room is much bigger and can lead to even worse worse seeds and worse sub-levels that are slower, since lower can be even farther from your spawn.
Yeah, so you've got the shapes mixed up a little bit. The J-shaped room is the one that they had. But yeah, yeah, you're good. You're good. The large room has like a large stump in it, and that room can have a spawn point that is super far away. These large orange bulborbs that you see SBU fighting now also activate. They wake up when a Pikmin or Captain gets near them, which makes them a particularly dangerous enemy. You
but
handled them
fortunately,
very well.
Pikmin exist.
Yeah. So yeah, just yet another spot where you'll see the overpoweredness of purple Pikmin. I think this is the first sub-level where you've seen a bomb fall in a treasure alcove. That was something sneaky put in by the devs, I guess, to make our lives miserable. On this floor, a bomb will essentially always fall under if a treasure is in an alcove like that. There are rare occasions where an egg will fall instead, but a bomb almost always falls. Explosions kill Pikmin, and so we have to be pretty careful managing that. The sub-level that HeartPiece is doing now is one we need to talk about when SBU is doing it, but you kind of just throw whites up on this stump feature and use the C-stick to get them around to the treasure and get the treasure carrying in. Sub-level 3 that he's about to do after this is one that you skip entirely because the treasure on it is only worth 40 Pokos, I believe.
That is correct.
And it's very quick to skip. Yep. It's also buried, and buried treasures take a lot of time to dig up most of the time.
Similarly, on sub-level 5, we skip that since treasure is only worth 50 Pokos and it is partially buried, and there are falling bombs everywhere which make your lives miserable.
Mm-hmm. The even more terrible thing about sub-level 5 is there are enemies placed throughout it as well, and so you will occasionally want to spam throw purples at the enemies, but bombs can fall near the enemies, and if you hit a bomb with a purple pound, it immediately explodes, and that is almost guaranteed to kill a hefty number of Pikmin and your run. I do believe I haven't been paying attention to the saves in between, but I assume they've been saving on in between floors. So if disasters happen, they're able to resave. Yeah. So ordinarily we would play without a memory card, but for the sake of a race, it definitely makes a lot of sense to play with a memory card. So that if any disasters happen, you can reset the floor and don't have to not finish the run. All right, we didn't put it out on SBU's stream, but he just fought the Emperor Bulblax, which is the boss in Pikmin 1. It is very easy on this game, though, with purples. So when we get to HeartPiece, we'll point that out a little more closely. But now SBU is just waiting for the second treasure to come in, which is a little stone statue thing. That treasure is worth 250 Pokos, which is a ton of Pokos. So we will collect it. I think throughout the run we collect around 80 treasures, and that's worth, 10,000 Pokos, plus we get about like 250 in bodies or so. So I don't know what that math works out to, probably like an average of 100. No, okay. 9750 divided by 80. About 100. The average treasure is about 120 poco. Is worth about 120 pocos, and so something worth like 250 is obviously way above that. So it's generally a very worth it treasure to go for. It would at least be third. Courage reactor's 280, Kemi.
I think it's the fourth most valuable treasure in payoff debt, because we have Courage Reactor at 280, the Dream Architect, which is the Mr. Game & Watch at 280, then we have the Green Lid Thirst Activator, which is 300 on US. On PAL, it's only 130 though.
Right. So it is the fourth most, with there being a tie for second. We see HeartPiece managing this floor quite well as well. He's also going to be able to get some nice bug bodies from this floor. All right, so you're seeing SBU kind of set up an interesting day here. So you'll remember that we skipped a lot of stuff when we first got here. We actually did not collect any treasures when we were here the first time. And when you collect the first treasure in this area, the day automatically ends. And so we kind of have to plan for that. You also see SBU here getting a bit of unfortunate luck. He got Mitites there, which each egg has exactly a 5% chance of spawning Mitites. They scare all your non-purple Pikmin and make them run around all crazy, and that can be a big pain. But it looks like he managed to save all of them. You got a problem, person? It is definitely pronounced Mitites. Mitites rolls off the tongue much easier than Matites. Don't call me dear.
Here we see HeartPiece killing the Emperor Bulldax because purple Pikmin. Bottom text.
Yeah, I said I was going to point it out. Thank you for noticing it. My name is Urban. If someone asks you to call them a name, you should call them the name they ask them to call you.
Rude.
That sounded really shitty. It was not meant to be shitty. But yeah, there's a reason that I asked to be called Urban. Because I want to be called Urban. Anyway. Alright, HeartPiece is finishing up Bulblack's Kingdom here, and SBU is getting a bunch of above-ground treasures and preparing to go into the next cave in Valley of Repose here. This is actually a pretty technical split. A whole bunch of stuff is going on at once. We're digging a bunch of treasures, we're breaking walls, we're carrying in other treasures, and so a ton of stuff is happening here. SBU is doing a really good job managing this, and it looks like he's going to get back to the gate just in time for it to be down. He's going to load a sufficient number of Pikmin on this plug and then get some other treasures moving. Then he will double back to the bridge, get that starting to get built, and he'll prepare himself to enter Subterranean Complex. Again, there's a ton of stuff going on in this split all at once, and it's a pretty good depiction of how the Pikmin 2 run has evolved over time. Like, we're just doing a ton of stuff at once here, and it's very fast.
Also, getting the Fossilized Earthblade, best treasure, by the way.
Yeah.
We get that moving a bit on enter Subterranean Complex, then we either get it or move it closer and enter Frontier Cavern. And if it's not back by then, we get it after we exit Frontier Cavern. It's worth quite a bit of Pocos. It's worth, I believe, 160. so it's very worth it to get because we can move it during separate splits instead of individually.
Yep. And because we're doing other stuff, we're getting other treasures. It only costs really like 10 or 15 seconds to get it, plus the cutscene, so 20-25 to get it overall. And that's a really good return on investment for that kind of poke value. All right, SBU finishing the split quite nicely, getting everything dug up and carried in, and he is going to start booking it towards Subterranean Complex, which is going to be probably I would say, one of the most difficult caves in the run, for sure. Subterranean Complex and Frontier Cavern, I think, are both the highest difficulty caves on their own in the run. Staggered Hole is somewhat difficult, but the bigger problem in Staggered Hole is that it's high variability.
Frontier Cavern and Subterranean Complex are also high variability. HeartPiece also gets Mentites on this split, but fortunately he kills all the ones in purple, so he'll be able to nectar his Pikmin much more easily.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we may not have mentioned about my tights before, but they my tights. Sorry, I want to say it that way. My tights before, because anyway, we didn't mention this about my tights before, but you can throw a single purple and that will insta kill all of the my tights. I think that's the only way to kill them. Well, no, I'm lying completely. Never mind. It's the easiest way to kill them by far. Let's say that.
Oh, I think on the end of the day, HeartPiece was not able to whistle off his whites and purples by the Courage Reactor, so he lost a few of those.
What were his numbers at? It's okay. Shouldn't be too bad. Go ahead.
I saw that he had 16 purples. I'm not sure how many whites. Actually, maybe he already had 16 purples. I know he was low at a Snaggered Hole.
Yeah. This sub-level here that SBU is doing now is one with a buried treasure, and so we use the gauge and our knowledge of how treasures spawn to try to figure out where that is.
Okay, never mind. HeartPiece is fine on whites and purples. They actually did get whistled in time.
Okay, good. You scared me, Teddy.
He whistled them, but they didn't get added to his numbers. So I didn't know.
Yeah. So that is one nice thing. They will, if you whistle, as long as they have been whistled, they will be in your party. That is different from Pikmin 1. And may not apply always. Like, I think if you pause and exit, it actually doesn't apply. They have to be, the counter has to have updated if you've whistled them and you pause and exit the day. But if you, if like a cutscene ends the day like it does there, you can kind of whistle into the start of the cutscene. Alright, SBU working on a floor that has more bombs that fall from the ceiling in these treasure alcoves. There are also tons of other bombs and these Dirigibugs, which are little beetle things that throw bombs, and so this floor can be very, very hectic for even the most skilled player, and can be even more hectic to watch. But SBU managed it nicely. 2 treasures here, and then he's just going to exit the floor. One trick that you saw that he used there, if you throw a single purple on just about any flying enemy, the purple weighs so much that they'll get stuck in their falling animation, or they will repeat their falling animation. It kind of depends on the specific enemy. They may also just not get up.
Yeah, that trick with purples works with every flying enemy except for the jelly floats, which we don't actually see in Payoff Debt. But they need multiple Pikmin to down them.
Alright, I think this is the first sub-level where we plan to get all 3. It's a sub-level with at least 3 treasures, and we plan to get all 3 on it. First sub-level that we plan to get at least 3 treasures on. Sorry, excuse me. So this is one that can require a little bit of creative routing on the fly or planning on the fly, because it can vary quite a bit. SBU, I think, is handling it quite nicely here. Yeah, super nicely. So you'll see he took a bunch of mid-speed Pikmin, which are the blue Pikmin, to a treasure that was far away and separate from these other two treasures, and got that carried in. And so as he's getting these other two treasures carried in, he's going to be able to... That third treasure is going to get carried in on its own. So nice bit of multitasking there, which is super important in Pikmin runs. A lot of playing in caves and above ground splits is trying to figure out how we can best multitask, because doing just one thing is generally pretty slow.
This sublevel is known for multitasking. It's one of the most important sublevels to multitask, along with some sublevels in Frontier Cavern.
Yep. So I think any sublevel where you have a lot of treasures on it, so 3 treasures or 2 like really heavy treasures, can be very important. SBU is going to encounter another floor that has some white candy pop buds on it. He will grow either 10 or 15 whites on this floor, and hopefully that'll be the last time that he grows whites in the run. You want a critical mass of about 30 whites for the rest of the run, and so it's going to depend on, you know, whether you lose Pikmin and what else might happen, whether he needs to grow more.
That blue Pikmin is somehow still alive.
Living life on the edge.
Yep.
HeartPiece doing a nice quick read here and figuring out where this buried treasure is. Like I said, we can use the gauge, but sometimes it can be a little dubious to read, a little difficult to read.
So sublevel 5 is a very obnoxious room for speedrunning, and so obnoxious that we don't even get the treasures on it. Super maze-like, and takes a long time to get the treasures down, so we do this trick called rim walk, where knapsack go onto the edge, we walk down to save some time, saves walking all the way around the room to get to the hole. SP performs it perfectly right there, so he very quickly is able to exit the sublevel to get to the next one.
Yeah, SBU also had a bomb spawn on the higher up panel there, which is actually very rare. That trick right there that Teddy was just talking about, Rimwalk, is one of 2 uses of knapsack exploits in caves. The other was on the floor with Emperor Bulblax BK7, Bulblax Kingdom 7. HeartPiece also
exploit.
Go ahead.
Unused exploit the knapsack, because on Glenn's Kitchen 6 you can get on top of the plates, but since we can reach Pikmin, we can reach the treasures from the ground, we never use it.
I actually didn't know that. That's very interesting. Yeah, so because these sublevels really tend to vary quite a bit from run to run, it can be hard to find those kind of useful exploits. The sublevels where we have them are the exact same or very, very similar every single run. Bulblax Kingdom 7, for instance, is the exact same every single run. SBU doing a good job playing pretty safe here. But this is another floor that has those Dirigibugs, which drop bombs. It also has anode beetles, which can spark electricity. And as I mentioned earlier, those are the 2 things that can kill your Pikmin instantly. It can be a disaster floor. So well managed by SBU. All right, we see HeartPiece actually going for pretty much the exact same strategy that SBU did. It is the best strategy, I believe, so well done from both of them in figuring that out. It's not always easy to figure that out. And figure it out quickly. All right, SBU on another high multitasking floor. There are 2 of these orange kind of bird frog-like enemies. They are called Gatling Groinks. This one that is stuck on this pedestal, we call him Tower Groink. Other people will call it Juliet, which I don't like. But it has a treasure in it, which we are always going to want to get. The other Gatling Groink just roams around the level. And that is a bit of a pain from time to time. For the most part, enemies will stay in their tight little range, or they won't move unless they're on screen. With the Gatling Groink is one of the enemies that moves while it is off screen and just roams around. Hence, we call the other Gatling Groink Romeo. I do like that name. This is the real reason that I wanted to do commentary tonight, is just because I wanted to bitch about calling Tower Groink Juliet.
Very valid.
Epoch Flame had a pretty funny pretty funny description of the groink. So I called it a bird frog. He said it's a goldfish with a windshield.
That's so good.
Which is very good. They are the source of ire for a lot of Pikmin runs, so... Names for how stupid they are nice. Alright, SBU finishing that floor nicely. The big green disc that he got on that floor is worth 300 Pokos. It is the most valuable treasure that we get in this run, and is absolutely required in every single scenario.
Okay, how many might hits has SBU gone? That's like gotta be the 4th or 5th.
Yeah, that's a lot. He was trying to nectar his whites there. It's actually going to work out pretty nicely because he's going to get some extra bug bodies from it, in addition to being able to nectar his whites, because Mitites drop a nectar when they die.
HeartPiece opting not to go for a muck, just to walk around, consistently getting to the hole.
OMG! HP's BF is in the chat.
Yo, let's go.
This is a moment. What Pi, what treasure is worth... Oh, so HeartPiece is playing on the PAL version, which actually doesn't have that treasure on this floor, or at all. I don't actually think it's replaced anywhere else either, so... he has to deal with a treasure that is worth way fewer Pokos, unfortunately, but it's still always worth it to get. And you'll remember that he's had some advantages on Pokos earlier as well. This is also the point in the run where our runners are going to start to become really aware of how many enemy corpses they've collected throughout the run. Like I said, we call that bug bodies. So there's a certain amount that we try to get. Kind of depends on what extra treasures you get. So they both got the extra treasure on Snaggered Hole 6, so it'll be a little bit different from other runs. But they'll know what bug bodies they need to get, and then also if they can skip any more treasures in the run. There are some pretty good to skip ones in Frontier Cavern, depending on the layout. HeartPiece there. The bomb killed the poison geyser, but he still threw whites at the poison geyser.
Oh. SPU1 Frontier Cavern. Into Frontier Cavern, this is the first level full, and there are 3 very annoying little pests that are known as doodle bugs. There's the first one you see right there. It basically comes out of the ground and emits poison, and poison is very annoying because the creatures just drop nectar if you hit them with purples or other Pikmin, and they just get in your way and they're annoying.
Yeah, so you'll remember that only whites are immune to the effects of poison, so it can make dealing with this floor really, really difficult. This is also a floor that has 2 buried treasures, and so it's one we have to use the gauge or our knowledge of spawning algorithm to figure out where treasures are. SBU making a little bit of a mistake there at first, but recovering for it really well and very quickly.
HeartPiece and Subtraining Complex 7. Checking around to see where the treasures are. Spots the treasures in the far room, so he goes, kills the tower grunt with his purples. Now he's gonna move for the treasures after this. Good read.
This is another floor that just has bombs just chilling on the ground, and I keep saying this, but they can cause a lot of problems if you don't know how to handle them or things go a little wrong. Oh, SBU had quite a lot of Pokos coming into this cave, and so you'll actually see him go ahead and use what we would call a skip, and so he is skipping a treasure on this floor that we would normally get. He was in a really good spot Poco-wise going into this cave, so I completely support this decision. That treasure that you see there, the present on top of that ledge, is only worth 60 Pokos, and when it's on top of that ledge, it can be a little bit difficult to get. Especially when the other treasure is sitting so close in the room, in that final room to where you spawn. So I support that decision. I think it'll work out pretty nicely for him. This floor that SBU is on... Go ahead. I was just going to say, the floor that SBU is on now, Frontier Cavern 3, has this large black frog. It is called a bull bear, and it is yet another enemy. Well, one enemy, another enemy that can move while it's off screen. It kind of just roams around. It tries to hunt down Pikmin and or captains. Can be a real pain in the butt sometimes. I think we keep alluding to it but not directly mentioning it, but for the most part, enemies do not move when they are off screen, and so at times you'll see our runners try to despawn enemies, get them off screen so that they can get treasures to move by them, Pikmin to move by them, what have you, whatever it may take. So another floor with a buried treasure, which means you can't see it. You gotta follow the gauge or use the spawning algorithm. SBU doing a really good job there, finding this buried treasure very quickly and then getting a really nice load on it. When I say load, that's... I'm talking about
if you're gonna call bull bears big black frogs, or bull borbs just frogs.
What? Which ones are the bull? Which ones would be regular frogs then?
The
red
small
ones?
bull borbs. Like dwarf red bull borbs.
I would call them dwarf red bulborbs. They're all frogs, okay? They're all part of the frog family. Don't at me.
Alright, cool.
Even the things that are clearly not frogs, frogs, man. They're turning the freaking frogs Pikmin. I liked that one. Alright, SBU has pulled a decent bit ahead here. Without a disaster, I think that he'll be in a pretty safe position to win this matchup. But anything can happen. So definitely good to keep watching.
Anything can happen, especially on Frontier Cavern 4, am I right?
Yeah. So this is a floor that has these anode beetles that we've talked about before, and they spawn electricity. It also has, you'll see this enemy, this blue flying beetle thing, called a bumbling snitch bug, and it grabs a captain. And if you have Pikmin in your party when it grabs a captain, it instantly dismisses them. And dismissed Pikmin will run to the nearest enemy, which in this case could be electricity. Could be an anode beetle that has sparked. And that's a real pain. HeartPiece doing a pretty good read here, recognizing that that treasure is right there. SBU did not do so quickly. However, he's loaded a bunch of whites on it, which means that he's not going to have as many whites to dig this second treasure back here. When a treasure, as we mentioned before, when a treasure is completely buried, it can only be dug up by whites up to a certain level, and after it gets up to a certain level, other Pikmin types can dig it as well, but only whites at the start. All right, SBU just got the Brute Knuckles, which is a randomly placed exploration kit upgrade. In almost all of their cases, they are on final floors of caves inside bosses. That one is just kind of in the middle of a cave. That power-up is not terribly useful. It allows captains to do a little bit of extra damage, but there's not a whole lot of run left, so... Alright, the sub-level SBU is on. Frontier Cavern 7 is another one where you're going to want to try to see where treasures are located on the come down if you can. Otherwise, you're just going to be searching around. One treasure on this floor is completely buried, so you cannot see it. You got to use the gauge. SBU was able to find it pretty quickly here, which is nice. Alright, and you see HeartPiece here actually going ahead and getting this treasure that SBU skipped before. That's probably related to him being on PAL. I imagine he can't skip it. He is trying to use some slightly glitchy purple throws here. When you throw purple at a ledge, it gets some weird momentum and can actually make it up the ledge. He was able to get up 2 purples up the ledge there, which gets the treasure down.
Or we actually keep the treasure off screen, because if it's on screen, sometimes it gets stuck on the ledge if it's only 2 purples. Because Pikmin 2 is jank. They're too slow to carry something down a flat slope.
Yeah. They're too slow to let gravity do the work.
Purple Pikmin are like the absolute highs and lows of this game.
Yeah, they tried to nerf whites and purples a little bit by whites don't do very much damage, but they move very quickly. Purples do a ton of damage, but they move very slowly. But we can just have them both in our party, and so we can break anything.
Actually, whites only deal less damage in Pikmin 3. In Pikmin 2, they deal the same damage as yellows and blues. So that's not even.
Oh, okay, it's just reds. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
They didn't even balance it.
That's so stupid. The way they tried to. I guess I understand why reds do more, but
you kind of use reds for the first 15 minutes of the game, maybe.
More than that. You use them through Snaggered Hole.
Well, yeah,
which
but
is like 40 minutes.
Them relatively being like useful as attacking Pikmin.
Oh right, yeah, not really. As soon as you get purples are what's useful. Like Fast Empress is like Empress and like you said, the tape on White Flower Garden 3 are really where you want to have a bunch of reds.
They're just used as Pikmin, not like red Pikmin, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. Alright, SVU has entered the last area here. Its name is escaping me right now. Teddy, help me out.
Perplexing Pool.
Thank you.
He doesn't need to get the treasure in the water to the right in the Toady Bloister because he got the Stupendous Lens in Snaggered Hole 6. That's not... You don't get that in every run, and if you don't get that, usually, you will just get the Aquatic Mine and the Toady Bloister. But that's... Sorry, that would be after Citadel Spiders. But
Right.
yeah, you'll probably see SBU skipping that.
You would hope. Especially since he's already skipped a treasure.
I also hope he skips LN. Good thing he does.
Yeah, so the tomato on this floor is only worth 40 Pokos. It's usually pretty far away too, and it's quite heavy, so we skip it. Citadel of Spiders, the cave we're currently in. We actually only generally collect treasures on 3 floors in this cave, which I believe is the cave that we collect the treasures on the fewest number of floors in, like in a standard run. Because White Flower Garden, we collect it on 1, 2, 3, 4, on all 5 floors actually.
The Citadel Spiders 2 looks pretty bad because there's a long hallway between the spawn room and this treasure room. And there's a gate, which will slow things down. So this treasure, this room, this sub-level, there are 3 treasures, one of which is one of the 2 Wollywogs, which you can use the gauge to tell, but usually runners will just kill both Wollywogs, since Wollywogs can insta-kill Pikmin, which is very annoying.
It's actually pretty funny how bad their hitboxes are. There are some times where they will look like they are just completely smashing a bunch of Pikmin, and they will get 0 kills. It's pretty fun.
And sometimes where it looks like they hit 0 Pikmin, but get like 30.
Yeah. I think that might be a little more pronounced in the JP version, the Japanese version. HeartPiece doing a pretty good... Huh? So I'm not sure what SBU's Poco count was going into Citadel of Spiders. However, he was at like 6890, 6891 entering FC, which is quite ahead.
SBU going into Citadel of Spiders was like, I think it was 81 something 8. Whether it was 6, 7, 8, 9, or I don't know, but he probably had enough.
Yeah. Like I said, that's something we start thinking about pretty early in the run, and most of us will have a really good idea of what we need halfway through the run. Usually by the end of Bulblex Kingdom, we have a complete plan. Alright, this is another floor that has a completely buried treasure, so it can be a little tricky to figure out sometimes. SBU actually located the exit before he located the other treasure, so he threw a few Pikmin on the gate to start working on the gate while he goes and gets the other treasure on this floor. The 2 treasures on this floor are worth quite a bit, so you don't want to skip either of them. Worth 100 and 130. I don't think he's noticed. His whites are already digging, so I don't know why he's killing this. I don't know why he did that, but... yeah, he needed a few more Pikmin on the gate. Probably could have used purples on it instead of blues. But he still played this floor very, very well. We see HeartPiece finishing up Frontier Cavern 7. Or, well, starting Frontier Cavern 7. Hopefully he can read it pretty quickly. So, unlike SBU, he actually goes toward this unburied treasure first. But we'll see if he recognizes that the other treasure is in the other spot, which looks like he's going over there. So, yeah, he knows. Good read, HeartPiece. Alright, SBU's going to be on a floor where he's really just going to run straight to the exit very, very rarely, maybe like 5 to 10% of runs, we will get a treasure on this floor, but there has to be some very specific what's the word I'm looking for? Some very specific things in place. Specifications, ramifications, neither of those. No, I don't know. It's gone. Now SBU is going to be on another boss floor. This is Beady Longlegs, which is also in Pikmin 1.
Just like Pikmin 1, just like in Purple Black, Steve the joke in Pikmin 2. Because Purple Pikmin.
Ooh, looks like SBU didn't throw quite enough Pikmin on the dig there. He's probably going to have to fix that a little bit, which looks like he's going to now. The floor he's on has 2 treasures. The buried one here is worth 100 Pokos, so it is always worth getting.
This is the final buried of payoff set, because the last cave, Glutton's Kitchen, does not have any buried treasures.
So I'm not sure what the required Poco number is for POW post VOR2. But I believe HeartPiece is in a pretty good situation, Poco-wise. I'm also just going to throw this out there. SBU is on, like, real possible PB pace. I think I can't remember if his PB is a 140 or a 141, but, like...
I believe his
mid
PB
140.
is I think SBU has a 140-140. So, yeah, if he gets to Glutton's Kitchen.
Yeah, so SBU is actually on great pace for a PB here right now. He is doing wonderfully on Pokos. He actually doesn't need to collect a single bug body in Glutton's Kitchen if he doesn't want to. I think it would actually be optimal of him to collect 38 in bug bodies, which means he could skip either small treasure on GK6. We'll see if he decides to do that, though. SBU has done a really, really good job on collecting bug bodies throughout this run. That is actually very impressive because he's already skipped a treasure. And he's in position to skip another. I've forgotten 2 words, Epoch. I'm also 400 years old, so you gotta cut me some slack.
Is Epoch roasting you about your quote-unquote scuffed commentary because you forgot 1 word?
Yeah. I don't know. I am pretty scuffed. Yeah. I believe, so Julian has been working on the task. It is not finished as far as I know. And is, like, in fairly early stages. I do appreciate the concern, Epoch.
Let's see if SBU will get Cookie here. Looks like he's going for it.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine, Epoch. Just feeling my oats.
Alright, SBU gets the Cookie here, which is an optional treasure, which means he'll probably be able to skip small treasure on Glutton's Kitchen 6. Guess he's so far ahead in Pokos.
So, yeah, like Teddy said, that's an extra treasure, and SB is actually going to go for some extra what we call moke throws here. Which sometimes the treasure can be up there. Normally you're supposed to use yellows, but we don't get yellows in this run, so we use those glitchy purple throws that HeartPiece was using before. The matchup of those treasure cutscenes was very satisfying. All right. Glutton's Kitchen has a lot of electricity. This floor 3 here is another one that has electricity on it. It also has bread bugs, which are the little guys that you can see running around on the stage freely. They can grab treasures under a certain weight and take them back into their little hidey hole. And if they do that, you have to kill them to obtain the treasure, and that can be really, really difficult.
Bird bugs can carry back any treasure that has a weight of 10 Pikmin or under. So on this floor, there's one treasure that weighs 10 Pikmin and one that weighs 20. So they cannot grab the big dial here, but they can grab that clacker wood thingy. Fortunately for SPU, bird bugs did not grab either treasure. And also they could have grabbed the big one.
Yeah, it looks like they spawned pretty far away from the treasure, so that's normally only an issue if they spawn right by the treasure. That can happen on other floors in this cave, too. Alright, HeartPiece doing a nice job on this Frontier Cavern 3, or, sorry, Citadel of Spiders 3. He's handling it much like SBU did, where he went and got the treasure, the canned treasure, and got some Pikmin on the gate by the exit, and then he went and got this other treasure that is buried. SBU finishing up nicely. That extra 25 Pokos that he got on GK2 is going to mean that he can skip a small extremely easily. I'm a little conflicted on whether or not he should have gotten it, because I don't think he's going to be able to skip 2 smalls from it. And so he's basically, I think he could have got enough bodies, but we'll see how it turns out.
Then skipping 2 smalls isn't even that much faster than just getting one and using the killer giant bread bug. But
right.
Yeah.
It depends on how things are laid out. So if like you get lucky and the egg is laid out in a position where the leg is on the far plate, then it's actually not bad. It's pretty good because you can skip both treasures that the small bread bugs grab.
Ooh, right here, so the Invigorator, the cup is on a high ledge, but we don't have Yell Pikmin. So we'll have to use glitchy purple throws, which are called Moke throws, to get purples up there. Basically, if Pikmin are like doing a little spin animation in the air, if they hit surfaces, they sort of just maintain their momentum and just kind of fly. SPU gets 2 purples pretty quickly on there, but he'll really get this treasure.
Yeah, this treasure was 130, so you cannot skip it, unfortunately. Those throws can also be very, very stressful to get. They're not, like, terribly precise, but it does require, like, having decent aim and setting yourself up, which can be really, really difficult so late in the run, especially if you're on a really good run.
Having Shimoke throws is better than bread bugs crashing your game, though, which can happen randomly, because Pikmin 2.
Yeah.
Let's hope it doesn't happen this run, for either player.
Alright, I think with a good GK5 layout, SBU can PB.
Oh dear.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is not a great layout. Oy. This is actually a painfully bad layout, which is
Both
pretty
treasures
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Are just really, really far away, and they're gonna have to take a really long carrying path. So, still gonna be a really solid run, even if it's not a PB.
The good thing about Glutton's Kitchen is that you can play super recklessly since it's the last cave in the run, and even if you one Pikmin out of the cave, you can still pay off the debt.
Yeah, you still finish the run.
So you'll see some pretty reckless play at GK5 especially.
Yeah. You can see some of that on GK6 too. Also, you saw there something I don't think we've pointed out yet. For the most part, those enemies, so those beetles that shoot boulders, cannot kill Pikmin that are carrying treasures. And so, like on a floor like this, we can really just load up the treasures and ignore them, which is something that would probably make some casual players pretty nervous. Or all treasures players.
Oh yeah, in all treasures you do not do this cave last. So you actually need to not play this cave, like the world's gonna end tomorrow.
Yeah, otherwise you'll see runners just play it extremely fast and loose. All right. SBU was at 9770. You need an extra 70.
Oh, he's gonna be quite a bit over.
Yeah, that's why I don't think Cookie was.
Oh, okay. Good thing those deaths don't matter.
Right. Yeah. Again, we're at the end of the run, so as long as you have enough Pikmin to clear this floor, to do what you need to do, then it's not too bad.
If he's gonna skip the sausage, you could see in the play on the right, because it's only worth 35 focus and treasures on the floor combined total to I believe 275. So, and he doesn't need that many focus.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually
no, he
also.
got red bug.
No, he's. I think he's trying to skip them both, which is gonna work out. I think,
I think
but like,
will.
yeah, it's gonna be close. He needed, I believe, 25 in bodies. I think he was at 70. He needs to get up to 95. So yeah, he needs 25 in bodies on this floor. What is he? Okay, he's trying to
if
get.
he gets these 4 anodes, he needs a small red bug still. No,
Yeah, and so he was trying to
yeah.
get a hit on that guy. But I think he'll still get there. He's gonna have to now.
Yeah.
Kill the bread bug.
Oh man, you need one more bug body.
Oh, he does, doesn't he?
It's not even cap percent. He's not 99. He's 2 off. So he'll go and manually walk over to kill that red bug.
Yeah.
Now.
Hopefully he's not run too far away. Oh. What? SBU, what are you doing? SBU. Oh, he needs 2 more. He needs 2 more bodies. There was another
to the other 3? I missed it.
Yeah, there's that other bread bug. He needed that bread bug, which he didn't get. There you go. All right. He's
this was the
even
GK
better.
To the half.
Yeah. Still a strong run from SBU. Getting within like a minute and a half of your PB in a race. Excellent. Super hard to do.
I guess we know that GK5 did not matter for personal best.
Yeah, not too much. All right, HeartPiece doing some good stuff here too, finishing up on GK3. Just 3 floors left for him. SBU has just finished.
Very respectable time.
So I'll show my age here. The first time I got world record, well, I guess second time. First time I got world record and like held it for more than a day was a 1:43:10, and that was back in 2018. So SBU's time would have been world record in 2018. Just kind of crazy to think about. World record now is down to a 1:33:13, I think. So it's in 5 years, the speed run has improved by almost 10 minutes. And I'd say only a minute or 2 of that is routing improvements. Otherwise, everything else has just been how we play caves, how we recognize caves. We figured out the spawning algorithm. We didn't know that back then. We had general ideas, but it is completely solved now. So we've made a lot of progress. HeartPiece is going to have to do some Moke throws here, which are named after a runner named Moke G who found these throws for these floors specifically. Oh, wow. So,
God-giver.
yeah, HeartPiece and SBU both said that they didn't do these very well, but they both managed to get them extremely quickly. HeartPiece got it in exactly 2 tries. I got 2 purples up in 2 tries, which is super hard to do.
Compared to Urban's age in this community, I am a child, because I've been only running this game for around 7 months.
Yeah. On top of that, Teddy is also just an actual child.
Okay, I didn't. That's
Teddy,
true.
Teddy, tell the fans what year you were born.
Alright, how about it? 2007.
Oh my god. You're great, Teddy. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you, you were also cool, dude.
Thank you. Everyone's going a little crazy over
Yes, GV.
how young you are.
You go, GV. Let's go.
I just want so I was born in 1993. I am twice your age, which is a little hurtful. But because I was born in 1993,
That's
to
pretty
me,
funny.
anyone who was born after the year 2000 should not be able to talk or like use a computer. That's just how it like works in my head. Everyone born after 2000 is literally an infant. All right, HeartPiece seeing another difference here between PAL and US version. Unfortunately, this floor is a lot slower on PAL and JP versions because it has 2 really heavy treasures, whereas on the US version, one of those is replaced with a treasure that is only has a weight of 15, whereas on this floor they're both a weight of 30, I believe.
Yeah, on PAL Japanese, the party hat is replaced. Okay. How many migrants are there this run? That's not determined by seed. That's just random RNG. Or we look stuck. He's literally stuck.
Oh no.
What is this?
You got this, HeartPiece. Yeah. Oh no. We're friends.
Also, yes, I am younger than Pikmin 2. Like,
Oh,
quite a bit,
HeartPiece
actually.
got Louie and some Pikmin sniped. Smalamar. So the answer to that is yes. I know Oro, so not the Oro in chat, another Oro who did some runs back last year, is also in his 30s. He's probably in his 30s now. I believe he was 29 last year.
Yeah, Pikmin 2 is 18 years old as of around a week ago. Dwarf Bulbar Jamboree, absolutely correct.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, unfortunately, this does count as a retro game. All right, we see HeartPiece finishing up on Glutton's Kitchen 6 here. Maybe we can get a swag Olimar kill on this floor. He's close.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
A little zap zap. All right, SBU has left the stream. Congratulations, SBU. Very well done. Very impressive run.
Oh, for HeartPiece, looks like a big red bug is kind of just he's doing his own thing.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Giant Redbug does not have the most predictable AI nor the most controllable AI. So we kind of have to hope that he behaves. There's some things you can kind of try to do that'll help out the situation, but he can be a real dick like he's being right now to HeartPiece. He's just running around and not picking up enemies. You can spam throw purples to kill him, but that's very slow. So we almost always want to have him carry in a treasure, or carry in an bug body or a treasure. Oh, he's going so far back. Oh no, and he's gonna.
Oh no. Yeah, you
Oh
can
my gosh.
You can kill a giant red bug with, I believe, 20 purple throws, which is very, very slow.
Yeah. Oh, and he's gonna do this, which is gonna suck. So
Oh,
HeartPiece was able to, yeah, HeartPiece was able to skip this treasure, but now because the giant red bug has decided to grab it, this is kind of just his best option is to let this get carried in. So he's gonna be about 45 Pokos over, something like that.
Yay, Pikmin 2!
Yeah, unfortunately, not really a whole lot he could do in that situation. Okay, he's only gonna be, he'll be 40 over. $43 over. Quit changing, HeartPiece. Making a liar out of me.
Older? What's older, Mirror Portal 1? I don't know when Portal 1 came out. So probably it.
GV, I think unfortunately, like, GC is now what, 4 generations back? Switch, Wii U, Wii. So yeah, it's 4 generations back. It is a retro console. I think anything that is not the current console or the previous console is retro. So I would even like venture as far as to say Wii is arguably retro.
HeartPiece
Hey,
finishing
it's
with
like
the...
when I heard. Congratulations, HeartPiece. Go ahead, Ted. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna finish with the 151.06. Still a very good time for Pikmin 2. Hard game.
Yeah. Good game, guys. Well done. Very exciting race. But yeah, Epoch is kind of getting at it, like with the asterisk there, like that's in quotes. Like, to me, if there is a formal definition of what a retro console is, it would be a console that is more than one generation removed from the current console. So PS3 would be retro, Wii would be retro, whatever Xbox it was would be retro. Yeah, we also did have a pretty long like release life. So there are very different games released at the start of the Wii versus at the end of the Wii's life. I didn't say Wii U is retro.
Wii U is definitely not retro because there are games on it with better graphics than 2022 releases.
Yikes.
Yep, Pikmin 3 graphics still hold up to this day. It is not close. Metroid Prime's now a retro game. Damn, that's true.
I don't know how many people will know this, but the other day, when I was on lunch, I turned it on the radio, and it was like a retro lunch hour, is what they call it, was playing, and the song "Leavin'" by Jesse McCartney came on, which came out in like 2001, I'm pretty sure, and I screamed.
That's pretty funny.
Nice race, guys. Congrats.
Congrats, SBU. Good job, HeartPiece.
Great out with the runners getting sub 2, which is always a hard feat.
I screamed
Epoch,
because
my man.
I remembered the song coming out. Wait, this came out in 2008? Okay, that was just a misplay then. I definitely thought this was like 2001. They played the wrong song. I've been thinking I was 7 years older for like
Oh no.
a week.
Okay, that is that's a good quote. I'll say that. Kid Swap is not retro. I will disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, they're still releasing Kids Bop. No.
Don't get me started on that one.
TV is a different beast. Like, there are very market eras of video game consoles that make the Wii U or the Wii, which was released in what, 2007, and Wii U was released in 2013.
2006, actually.
Oh, 2006.
I think Wii U was like 10 or 11 because Pikmin 3 came out in 2013.
Yeah, Wii
Okay,
U
so
came
maybe
out
it
in
was
2012.
2012.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So there are very specific reasons that the Wii is considered retro, even though it was, its heyday was 2006 to 2012. Really 2007 to 2012, because people were still
Listen,
playing
the,
GameCube.
the last Wii game that I know of came out in like 2018 or 2019.
What?
There's
Okay,
like
What version of Tetris was that?
It was not Tetris. It was like Just Dance 2019.
Oh yeah,
It came out
okay.
on the
Also,
Wii.
also,
Bruh.
when I made the joke, I definitely did not think, oh, Pi like plays Tetris, but
Wait,
it fit even better. Yeah.
it does, yeah. There's a more recent version of Just Dance on the Wii than on the Wii U.
What?
I'm pretty sure
Okay,
that's the case.
is that because the Wii U doesn't have, like, Wii U doesn't use like controllers, right? Like normal controllers? I don't.
Well,
I've only
you can
I barely
connect the
played the Wii U.
Wii controller to the Wii U.
They have like
Yeah.
these weird Wii U controllers that are like GameCube controllers but worse and smaller and are terrible in every single way. My friend
Shout
owned
out
one
to
that
the
I never said using it.
classic controller from the Wii. Terrible.
I
They
never
made
actually
it
had
like,
one of those.
oh yeah, they made it like it was like the SNES controllers rather than maybe the NES, one of those two, rather than the like GameCube controllers. I'm like, you guys had such a good thing.
Alright, well, good race, guys. I think that's gonna be it for tonight. We got our next race scheduled for Sunday, May 8th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It's gonna be Max versus Electric Fortune. So
It's gonna be a hot race for people who don't love their mothers.
I will see you all then.
Or
Thanks for watching, everyone.
see you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, follow JPEP on Twitch.
Follow the Urban Deer on Twitch.
Also that. Follow Pikmin Community on Twitch.